G'day mate, how you going? You hear that a lot? Hey man, how you been? Might get that one as well. Quite often you'll be the one asking that too. How's life been treating you lately? How you doing? We ask it and get asked that all the time. We might give a rather large answer to that. Oh mate, you know, some stuff's been going on. You know, I'm struggling a bit at the moment, but... Or we might just respond with, good mate, good. You don't really get too much into it, but something's going on, something's there. I don't really necessarily want to talk about it though. We're of course talking about our mental health. For us blokes especially, our mental health, it's an extremely awkward, or can be an extremely awkward and difficult conversation at the best of times. It's extremely hard to open up and tell someone how you're feeling. Let someone know that you're struggling for whatever reason. You can quite often feel like you've got no one there that you can sort of reach out to or talk to, even though very well you probably do. You probably have many people there that will listen, but you just feel like that you don't have the ability to, maybe even. You know they're there, but you don't have that ability to. You don't know how to go about it even. It's true, it can just be something as simple as talking to a mate, reaching out to a friend, having a chat around a campfire, going down the beach to flick a line, have a good yarn. You just end up yarning and you end up feeling good because some stuff has come up that maybe you didn't realise you need to talk about, but you did, and you feel really good afterwards. That's the common understanding of mental health these days. If you're feeling a bit under the weather in your head, go have a yarn to a friend, get some things off your chest, and that would hopefully be the difference between you carrying on in that headspace where you're not feeling too great, and then being able to carry on and get on with life again after having a good yarn, getting some things off your chest. What then if you're finding yourself in the position where you're talking to your mates, you've reached out, or a mate's reached out to you? What if you're finding you're still struggling and you've just got this thing hanging over you that you can't seem to shake? Well, I guess it would be important to start with understanding what it is that you're actually feeling. This is something that I find isn't talked about a lot. I've done a bit of an intro here, but before we go any further, I have to say, obviously I'm no doctor. Obviously I'm not trained in this area. I'm someone who has dealt with mental illness. So I'm talking from complete life experience. I don't want this to be dark and heavy. I want to keep this light. I want this to be something that's going to make sense and help. We're seeing big movements now and they're great, they're fantastic. Things, the awareness, you know, things like Are You OK Day, Men's Mental Health Week has just gone through, which is a massive part in raising awareness for men's mental health. Very alarming stats are highlighted through that week of awareness with Mental Health Week, and that was part of the reason for me wanting to perhaps do this small video. Just to add to that, if you're watching me, you're watching this video, it's likely because you enjoy full driving and camping, just as I do as well. So I want to infuse that into this discussion as well, about how being out in the bush, being surrounded by nature, this sort of setting has helped me immensely with my mental health. It's a coping mechanism for me. So probably is going to be a little bit chit-chatty. I apologise for that. You're best to understand what it is that you're feeling. You see, mental health is something, that's a term that's used a lot, a hell of a lot, and you can easily relate it to your body being sick. Same with your head. If you're not feeling well in your head, you need to take stock of that and do something about it. One of the biggest awarenesses for that of late, especially with social media, the campaigns and the hashtags, has been talking to buddies. And also for your buddies to be aware to remember to talk to you, to reach out to them and to let them know, hey mate, I'm there, you know, people are here for you. And in a lot of cases, it's fantastic and it can work and it can pull people out from very dark places, and it does. And I know that from experience too. To add to this, and I think this is an important part to talk about, you have mental health, there's mental illness. But what's the difference? If you've got a head cold or a flu, you're going to get over that. What if you've got a really bad back? What if you've got an absolutely screwed back? You're likely to live with that the rest of your life. But if you've got real bad knees, you're likely to live with them for the rest of your life. There's things like surgery and other ways that you could help yourself, but in essence, you're going to have to manage that issue for the rest of your life. It doesn't mean you can't live with it, but it just has to be managed. And it's something that is likely to be with you for the rest of your life. And that can be hard to accept. But first of all, that's what I want to bring to the table in this video, is that first of all you have to acknowledge, you have to figure that out. And then once you've figured out you've actually got an illness here, this is something that isn't going to go away, that's the key. That's the key for you to be able to start doing what you need to do, get your life back on track, and still have a meaningful life while managing this big fog that seems to never want to go away. When I was a kid growing up, I had crippling anxiety, but I was buggered if I knew what it was. I had no idea what I was actually feeling. So as an adult, you're a bit more capable of being able to figure out these things that you're feeling. But then on the other side of that, it still might scare you. You don't want to admit that you are feeling some things like this. You don't want to acknowledge it. You have to stop for a second and say, okay, I'm feeling some stuff here. I can't seem to shake this. I've got this big foggy cloud over my head. Why is it that I'm constantly feeling down or anxious? I shouldn't be, because everything's going my way. That's when you've got to go, you know what? Something clearly isn't right. I do have something going on in my head. And in order to keep moving, to keep going, you've got to acknowledge that, fully understand what it is that you're feeling, don't run from it, and start taking some action with what it is that you can do to get your feet back on the ground and keep running in life. There's so many variations of mental illness, there's so many different things that everyone feels, and then there's so many mechanisms, coping mechanisms or ways of managing that will work for someone but not work for someone else. And that's all part of your own journey from that point on. Whether it be medication, something as simple as medication, or a bit of therapy, a bit of counselling, things like that. Once you have got your foot in that door though, you'll find that there is something, and there definitely will be something there. A line for you will be thrown to you, and you will figure out what it is that you need to start coping and start managing what's going on in your head. And it's very liberating, man. It's something that you will only benefit from. It's not going to hurt you in any way at all. Just going to knock some air out of these tyres, carry on up the river a bit. I tell you what, it's an absolutely stunning day out here today. We ended up with about, oh geez, I think it was around 70 odd mil we ended up getting this weekend. So it's nice to be out here with a bit of broken up clear sky. Still chilly as, it's only about 8 or 9 degrees at the moment. But it's beautiful to come out here. Everything's all nice and wet, fully soaked and drenched from that rain. Bit of broken sky, the bush smells beautiful, the bush has come to life. The river's flowing nice and hard. So it's a perfect time to be out here in the bush. Look at the sun hitting that water, isn't that stunning? One of the biggest things for me is getting out here into the bush. Whether it be camping or just out here for a day, being out here in the bush, it calms me. It calms me a lot. I can leave all the other stuff that I don't handle all that well, which is work and responsibilities and finances and all that other stuff that can weigh you down. That's heavy on people's shoulders at the best times. So being able to come out here into the bush, feel that cool air hit your face, feel the fresh air fill your lungs, smell the bush, be among a flowing river, even on a beach, hearing the waves crash on the beach, flicking a rod out into the water. Whatever it is, all scopes of fall driving and camping, being out here amongst it, for all of us, is part of that managing our mental health. Bloody hell, mate, how nice is it to be out in the bush, eh? You know what though, as nice as it is down here, I've got some tucker up there I want to eat, and it's right on lunchtime. I'm going to go get it started. As I'm sitting here letting that fire smoulder down, burn right down before I pack the old pit up, I'm reminded of how utterly alone I am out here right now. Being utterly alone has been something that I have come to grow quite fond of, to be honest, and in some respect I need it. I need alone time. I need to be able to come out here in the bush on my own, without mates, without Kelly, without anyone. I manage myself by being in the bush, coming out here, and a massive part of that also includes being out here alone. So it is quite an uncomfortable thought for people, but I don't know, I think there's something incredibly liberating about being able to be out in the bush on your own, being able to go out and camp on your own, do a solo camp, do a day trip or a day run somewhere on the beach, or come up into the bush and just be on your own. I think if you can tap into that and be comfortable with that, it's a very nice, not a skill, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a nice ability to be able to have. It's another nice little weapon for your arsenal against your own little mental journey, if that could be a good way to put it. If you're anything like me, it's pretty damn tough to talk about this stuff. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit apprehensive, I suppose, about making a video like this. It's a video that I've actually been wanting to do for quite some time. And I suppose just off the back of Men's Mental Health Week, I got a bit of courage up to film it, come out and film it and have a bit of a yarn with you all. I hope in some way it's helped, maybe giving you a bit of courage too to speak up if you need to, go have a chat with some mates, reach out to someone that might be able to help you. I hope whatever it is that you can knuckle through and find something that's going to, if you haven't already of course, find that little vice, that little thing that's going to help you cope, that little coping mechanism, and punch on through. Because you're not alone. You're definitely not alone. There's plenty of us out here that are going through all the same stuff. Different variations of it, but it's all the same at the end of the day. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Whew. Yeah, old mental health. How beautiful is this? I want to leave it on a cheery note. Alright. We'll talk to you soon, eh? Thanks for watching. Ooroo. Jeez, what a spot. Beautiful.